What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex. You watching the Ragin Ronin review, and it is time for a top 10 list of 2013. But we're not going to do my top 10 best films of 2013 first. That will be the next video. Right now, we're going to do the top 10 worst films of 2013. I've seen a total of 42 films in 2013, and you know there are going to be some bad ones, and I've put together my list of top 10 really bad films. It starts off from number 10, which will be a bad film, and all the way to number 1, which is the worst film that I've seen for the entire year. Alright, so let's start off with number 10, and that would be G.I. Joe Retaliation. I went into this movie with a lot of expectations, high expectations rather, because director John Chu, he's a big fan of the original cartoons back in the 80s, but he did not deliver at all. I don't need to say anymore. Watch my review, all right? Number 9 is A Good Day to Die Hard. Once again, another sequel that failed. Live Free or Die Hard was really good, directed by Len Wiseman, but number 5, A Good Day to Die Hard, it was just the addition of his son just interfering with his John McClane's business. Come on, man, that's not Die Hard at all. So, it wasn't very good. Had some decent action sequences, but overall, it was quite a dud. Okay, number 8 is Now You See Me, directed by Louis Leterrier, and this movie had so much potential until they decided that, well, everything's possible because of magic. The guy's a magician; he could do whatever he wants. But did they fail to remind us? Did they fail to remember that? Well, it's set in the real world, so there's got to be some sort of realism there. It's completely unrealistic, okay? Number 7 is Bullet to the Head, starring Sylvester Stallone. I like Sylvester Stallone and the fact that he's trying to bring back the old school, the old school 80s action movies, right? And him being in this movie was kind of cool, but still, I felt very empty inside. It wasn't anything very special. Not that I expected it to be anything special, but still, walked out of the theater feeling very empty, alright? Next is Homefront. Kind of like a Sylvester Stallone movie, but without Sylvester Stallone, and that would be with Jason Statham instead. Now, this movie had a kind of a build-up. There was this build-up towards something very badass is going to happen, but it just fell apart pretty early. So it's your typical Jason Statham fare, and Sylvester Stallone wrote this movie, so he kind of wanted to put his stuff in it, his action elements in it, but unfortunately, once again, just like A Bullet to the Head, it fell short. Number 5 is Machete Kills. Machete, the first one, directed by Robert Rodriguez, was a lot of fun. It was kind of a fresh take on making fun of the exploitation films, right? But I felt that they went a little bit too far with Machete Kills, and it just goes a little bit overboard to the point of okay, it's another Austin Powers sequel. We don't need another one. Alright, so just leave it alone at the first Machete movie, and then it's fine. Number 4 would be Hangover Part 3. Recycled jokes and more recycled jokes. Kind of like the Rush Hour franchise. Once they got to Rush Hour 3, you know what? It's just over because they ran out of ideas. The same thing goes for Hangover Part 3. They ran out of ideas. They decided to go back to Las Vegas, but you know what? We've seen this sort of thing before, and there's nothing special at all. Just a complete dud. Number 3, that would be The Lone Ranger. What a long movie, and what a long time to wait for such an average payoff. All the action, all the big action, the most spectacular sequence was at the end of the movie, but there's just 2-hour long wait for it, and it's just too long. Sure, they had Johnny Depp, but I think this was his easiest role to date because he didn't speak a whole lot. He acted kind of silly at times, but other than that, this isn't a stretch for Johnny Depp, all right? Number 2 is a movie that I watched very recently, 47 Ronin. It's billed as a Keanu Reeves movie, but Keanu Reeves is barely in the movie, and even if he is in the movie, it wouldn't even make a difference. His presence is so non-existent to the point where we don't care, and it just feels very, very it feels very, very empty. There's no soul. There's no heart to this movie. It's just a bunch of visuals. That's all it is. And that's what 47 Ronin is. It's just something that you watch and then you walk out of the theater forgetting about it the instant you leave the cinema. All right. And number one, the worst movie I saw in 2013 is Ridley Scott's The Counselor, which is absolutely surprising because Ridley Scott is a great director, but I have a feeling that because the production was delayed because of the unfortunate passing of his brother Tony Scott, and I think that affected Ridley Scott's his performance as a director, and he wasn't focused and he wasn't able to tell a good story through his lens. So that was quite unfortunate. But the truth is that The Counselor is just the worst film I've seen in 2013. And there you have it. That's all I gotta say. This is a list of 10 movies that I thought were really, really bad. Other than that, beyond this list, a lot of the films that I watched were really quite enjoyable and quite entertaining. So that means that in the next video, I'm gonna give you my top 10 best movies of 2013, so stay tuned for that. All right, why don't you tell me some of the worst movies you watched in 2013? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, the Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. But the director of the first one, I think that Francis Lawrence did a better job than him. Okay, and he kept the action like at a very